Greed is all around us. It's constantly in the headlines. We've seen Ponzi schemes at a level we never imagined possible. The dictionary describes greed as intense and selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, or food. We see warnings against greed scattered throughout the Bible, and some are general and some are aimed at specific people. The bottom line is that greed destroys. It destroys those who are the victims of it, and it eventually destroys the greedy person himself. How does greed manifest itself then in a marriage? You know, I watched the interviews with the family of Bernie Madoff. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison after this massive Ponzi scheme that cost investors billions of dollars. What captivated me, though, was the devastation that was done to his family. He had a wife and sons that trusted him. And not only did they trust him, they put him on a pedestal and they never questioned him. Madoff's greed destroyed every bit of that. You know, we can all be guilty of the same thing, although on a different scale and a different stage. Often I've seen good men who truly love their families get sidetracked by greed. The desire for power and wealth become the priority in their life. And soon a marriage that had all kinds of promise is given a backseat to greed, and it's not long before it crumbles. I counseled a young teenage girl whose dad had gotten caught up in greed. He became rich. He could and did buy her anything she wanted. But as we talked about her life, she told me she would give anything if her family could get back to the simple life they had before greed took over. She lost her dad and wanted him back. As I talked to the girl's mother, I heard the exact same story. Unfortunately, this man had created a treadmill that he could not or would not get off of. Greed is a hard issue. It happens when we crowd God out and put ourselves in his place. What we want takes the place of what God wants. I guess if we really look deeply at it, there are two issues. One is selfishness, the other is trust. Selfishness is always putting yourself first in front of God, your spouse, and your kids. And trust, it's believing that God's plan for your life is the best and not getting in his way. So I would encourage you to let God take a long, penetrating look at your heart. Let him in and let him remove any hint of greed that's there. You'll be better off. Your wife and kids will be better off. It's a bold step, but it will return incredible results.